Coach Teresa Ford here, and this is the Guiding You Home podcast. This is a thought-provoking and often humorous approach to moving you closer to the only one who can genuinely help you live a life of abundance and prosperity. Sound good? Yeah, it's you that needs to go within so you can sit in the driver's seat of your life, co-creating with God. So make room for more light and knowledge. As you continue to listen, you will discover elements of how to lead with your inner light, how to act on your specific promptings, and how to follow your spiritual intuition so you can fulfill the measure of your creation. Thanks for being here, and let's dive in. Okay, I have to interject really quick here. If you're feeling more inspired, more courageous, and more in tune with yourself, you may be thinking about starting a podcast. Do not let it overwhelm you. What I did was I jumped on Anchor and I hit record and I just started there. It's super simple. You can just download the Anchor app or you could go to Anchor FM to get started. And here's the reason why. You have a contribution to make. And every time you hold your gifts back from the world, there are other people out there suffering. So you may be the answer to someone else's prayer if you will get out there, be bold, and do your thing. This is your voice, your creative outlet, and you can make it whatever you want it to be. So just don't hesitate. Do it today, because I'll tell you what, this has been the best thing I've ever done for myself, because it is one way to hear yourself and it's another way to find the answers. And then you help other people in the process. So just do it. Okay, now back to diving deep. Hey, I am very excited about today's topic. We're going to talk a little bit about fear and how to turn fear to faith. So this whole idea of fear, I mean, who doesn't have it? We're all normal. We're all humans, and we fear the things that are uncertain to us. We fear the things we can't see. We fear the things that we don't have solutions to yet. We fear the people we're not sure how to handle. We fear the situations where we might get blindsided, or that our viewpoint won't be heard, or that will be misunderstood for, the way we're representing ourselves, or what we've said, or our belief system. There's fear everywhere you turn. Sometimes there's fear when you wake up first thing in the morning and you get out of bed and you're afraid you're not going to get it all done, or that you're not going to perform, or that somebody's expectations are higher than what you feel you can deliver. Whatever it happens to be, the fear is always there. It's our brain's way of keeping us safe. Our brain's like sitting at the top of our body. It's on the lookout tower. It's like, where is there a lion that's going to eat us today? Where's the lion coming from? Is it going to ambush us? Is it in plain sight and we're frozen in place and we don't know how to get out from in front of the lion? Whatever the lion is for you, your brain is not wrong. It's just doing its job. It's like it's got to see the problems in order for you to also find resolution, find solutions for it. So fear is not a bad thing, because it's teaching us, number one, that we're not in alignment with who we really are, because we're not fearful people. We're just, our hearts and our belief systems and those types of things are usually centered in love. And it's important for us to align with that. Love, faith. Where there is fear, there's an absence of faith. Faith is that everything is going to work out for our good. Even the awful stuff, even the challenging stuff. It's teaching us something. We are learning all the time. You cannot learn if you don't have contrast in your life. You must have contrast. There must be good times and bad times. There must be joy and there must be confusion. There must be conflict and there must be resolution. So fear is just showing you that you're not in alignment, but the resolution, when you go to resolution, when you go to faith, when you go to trust, when you go to belief, when you go to love, those things bring you back to center. So when there's fear, there is a lack of faith. That's like saying when you're in fear that other people aren't going to do something to keep you safe, fear that the world's not going to go the way you want it to go, fear that there's somebody out there that threatens you and you're not sure how to handle it. That kind of fear, when there's fear, there is a lack of faith, a lack of belief that it's going to be okay, a lack of belief that it always comes back around. Like when I say that, look at history. I mean, we go, good guys to bad guys. We go from being peaceful people to a wicked people. We go from, wars to peace in the land, right? There's always contrast, and it always comes back around. If it's bad, it turns good. If it's good, it turns bad. And based on who you are and what your beliefs are and your political parties, et cetera, you're going to determine for yourself, is it good now or is it bad now? But it always comes back around to the other one. There's opposition in all things. It never, ever stays the same. So believing that even in the bad times, you can thrive, that's so important for your mental health. Is it not? So, I say so a lot, don't I? Because when I say so, like the next idea is coming to me. I'm still developing this. None of this is written out. Like it's all coming to me as I'm talking to you. So I apologize for that word so. It's always coming up. Fear is believing that there is going to be a lack of peace for you in the future, that we have to hold on for dear life. Fear makes us overeat, or retail therapy, or it makes us do things that are not necessarily in our best interests. It makes us stay up too late at night, hoping to have a little more relaxation and rest when all our bodies need is sleep. It makes us overeat because we're staying up late and your body's like, I don't care how we're gonna get the calories in, so let's go to the freezer first because that will satisfy our caloric need quickly. Cookie, cake, ice cream, there it is. So fear is not helping us. It doesn't really help us find alignment. So we have to replace it. We have to do something different. We have to take fear out of it and put faith in its place. Faith is where the abundance lies. Faith is knowing that all things are working out for us. Faith is you have limitless possibilities in you, and there's optimism waiting for you to grab hold of so you can, again, align yourself with the belief that you can do anything you set your mind to. Faith is all things possible. Faith is finding your alignment with your source. When I'm looking out in the world and all I hear is, there's disease and illness out there, and there's recommendations for how to handle that disease and illness, I get yucky gut soup. Like, it's instant. And all yucky gut soup is usually 3 or more negative emotions all put together, and it makes you go ugh in your stomach or your gut. And your gut is trying to tell you is like, well, now there's a difference of opinion here because your inner self, your inner infinite wisdom, your spirit, your true nature inside of you, that thing that makes your arms and legs move, that makes your brain think, that thing is telling you it's nothing but love and light. It is pure faith. It is all things possible. It is infinite intelligence. And your brain is like, but we're not safe. People are going to make us do things we don't want to do. We're being shamed for doing or not doing the things that they think we ought to do. When your brain is saying that and your inner spirit is like, nope, we're love and light. We're not going to change. We can't. We're nothing but in spirit or inspired. Then you're having a difference of opinion. And the way you know you're having a difference of opinion between your brain that's on top of the watchtower looking out for the lion and your inner spirit that is love and light is the negative emotions. That's the outcome. So yucky gut soup is telling you that your inner self, the true faith follower, is not in agreement with the fear in your head. That you have opposites fighting and battling with each other. So you've got to decide which one is going to win. Which one are you going to let win? How do you know which one's going to win? It's what you focus on. So when I'm out there checking to see what's new in the world, which is not often, I really, really don't want to know because there's a lot of fear, and it's both sides talking with fear. Both sides. And everybody's trying to, it's a power struggle for control. And so I don't engage with that very often, but if and when I do, I also have to find peace in conflict. I have to still remain in my alignment. So do you. That's where faith is. Faith is in alignment. So that's when I take my brain and I go straight to my higher power. I'm like, it's still going to be okay because it's not me that's in charge. I can't change other people. So I align myself with what my God wants for me. How would he want me to respond right now? And then I'm going to act accordingly. When you go to your higher source, I don't care if you call it the universe, I don't care if you call it spirit, whatever you want to call it, your higher power would want you to be happy, peaceful, and aligned. And you're like, how am I supposed to do that in this world when there's, stuff coming at me right and left? It's possible. We're not saying you have to be in agreement what's being said out there. We're not saying you have to be in agreement with the conflict. I'm saying you need to be in agreement with your higher source, because that takes the conflict out of you. It doesn't stop the conflict in the world. It takes the conflict out of you. And when there's no conflict in you, the fear lightens up. There's less of it. Your brain calms down. You can actually get some sleep. You can actually make good food judgments. You can actually rest and relax. You can actually keep your nervous system in a healthy place. You can actually manage your physical, mental, and emotional health, because you're operating from a place of faith. Whatever happens, I'm not in control of it. It doesn't mean you can't take action on what you believe. It doesn't mean that you can't go out and make contribute your part in the world. It just means stay in alignment. Being fearful is a terrible place to be. You really don't get anything done trying to force your way through the world to make others change so you can be happy. Your goal is to change first. It's your job to stay in alignment with you. Don't leave. So when you're around negative emotion, that's the trickiest. When you're around other people that are being negative or fearful, are you responding to theirs? Are you picking up on their mood? Are you changing who you are to satisfy them? Are you changing who you are to belong or to agree with them? Do you have to be upset? Do you have to be in conflict? Do you have to, excuse the generalization, dramatic? We don't want to be drama. We don't want to be high maintenance. And the only person that really matters, whether you're high maintenance to or not, is you. Are you a lot of work right now? Nobody wants to be a lot of work. I've said that in a few of my other episodes, that sometimes I look at myself in the mirror and go, man, you're a lot of work right now. You need to find your happy, Faith is where happy is. Faith is where peace is. Faith is where harmony is. Faith is where alignment is. Fear will never get you there. You can't scare yourself into being more in abundance mindset. Fear is about lack. It's about what's not happening. It's what you don't have. It's about who's not behaving. And if you're focused on that, guess who wins? fear. Fear wins. If you're focused on it, if you're walking around the house and you're having conversations, you're revisiting all the things you should have said in the heat of the moment, or you should have known to do when you were blindsided, or all the smart remarks you should have made when when somebody was expressing an opposite opinion of you. If you're walking around doing that, you're in fear. You're a lot of work. You're expending energy you can't get back. There's no ROI on that kind of energy. And at the end of the day, you're exhausted. And instead of going to bed, your hormones are going crazy, your cortisol is high, and so you stay up and you watch TV late. And then you get up in the morning and you try and get more done on less sleep, and it's a vicious cycle. And it's much more prevalent for your brain to be in a fear state when you're tired than it is when you're rested. When you're taking care of you, you're going to bed on time, you're getting 8 hours of sleep, you wake up in the morning refreshed. Now we got something to talk about, because the chances of you being in a state of faith is huge. You're actually doing what you need to do to make you stay in alignment with you. State of alignment. What does alignment look like? State of alignment is, what do I want to do today? Maybe you've got to go to work at 9, and maybe you work 8 hours because you need a paycheck. But what are the nuggets there? Well, if you go to bed on time, you could get up earlier. And if you get up earlier, still having had 8 hours of sleep, then you hit the ground running. You're not trying to get more done on less time or less sleep. You're actually ahead of the game. Now, all things are possible. You can get your workout done. You can study your morning inspiration. You can say your prayers. You can listen to positive messages or podcasts or whatever. And you are on track to feel the abundance of all that is available to you. It's most important that you feel it, because if you feel it, you'll do it, you'll act it, you'll be it, you'll become it. You need to be on track. When you're off track, you are not a happy person. When you're on track, you can nail it. Like, all things are possible. Even getting a raise, even finding a different job, even going rogue and becoming an entrepreneur, even starting that thing or writing that book, or signing up to speak. Those types of things are like within your grasp, because you believe in yourself. You're showing yourself what's possible. That's what faith is. Faith is showing yourself all things are possible, and you are limitless. If you are limitless, then what is it that you're not doing that you would like to do? Because the not doing is a sign that you're being fearful about it. You're letting other things dictate whether you can or can't. Other elements are irrelevant. Other elements are irrelevant to whether or not you can live in faith, knowing all things are working out for you. They're working out right on time. The timing is perfect. And when you're inspired, when you're being creative, when you're having fun, you are operating in faith. That's alignment. You are a creator, but you're not here for the creation, because that sounds finished. You're never going to be finished. You're always in a state of growth and development when you're in faith. You are stuck and living in the past when you are in fear. So if you want to live in a state of alignment, in a state of growth, in a state of creativity, then you've got to operate from a state of abundance, which is where faith is. If you spend money, there's more on the way. There's more where that came from. There is not a limited amount of money. Money is circulating in the universe 24/7, 365. It's knocking at your door, and whether you're answering it or not is based on whether you're living in a fear state or a faith state. You've got to answer the door. You've got to let it in. You've got to welcome what it is you want: a relationship, a new career, more money, friendships, connection. You got to let it in. If you're just slamming the door every single time it knocks, then that's fear. If you're not even answering the bell when the doorbell rings, it's fear. So you got to decide. Be decisive. What do you want? You want faith? You want abundance? You want all possibilities? You want limitless possibilities? You want to open up a new door? Well, it depends on what you're focused on. Because whatever you focus on grows. So if you're focused on what's fearful out in the world and what people might make you do or shame you into doing or not doing, or that other people aren't doing what you need them to do so you can be happy, that's fear and you're stuck. No growth. At least not in the area that you're focused on that's fearful. So if you want to grow, you want to get unstuck, let go. Let go. You're not actually controlling anything by being in a state of fear. All you're controlling is whether you're growing or not, and you are causing yourself to be stuck. What is the point of that? What are we doing? Why are we so much work? When you open yourself up to a state of faith, that means you let go of everything that is not in your power to control. That means you believe that all things are working out for your good, that the timing is perfect, that all things are possible, that you have limitless possibilities, and the abundance is so magnificent you could never possibly let it all in. But you can try, and at least let in the things you've been begging and asking for the last year or 2 or 10. At least let that much in. And that's being in a state of faith. Where there is faith, there is trust. When there's trust, there is belief. When there is belief, there is abundance. When there is abundance, you can't go wrong. That's showing yourself the potential that is in you to live up to all your possibilities. Faith is showing yourself what's possible, that you are possible. When you are faithful, and an alignment. Faithful is being in alignment and true to who you are. When you honor yourself, I'm saying it in all the ways I can think of that might trigger an idea in your own mind about what you need to do, how you can apply this. Faith gives you the green light to go do, be, and have everything you've ever desired. It's possible. You have no limitations. If you think you're limited, that's what you're focused on. What if you don't focus on your limits? The why nots. What if you don't focus on why you can't? Who won't let you? Who's in the way? What's in the way? The timing, the where, the how. If it's not in the way and you just go do the thing that feels the best, the thing that's fun for you, the thing that inspires you, the thing that's creative for you, that you're being a creator, and the creating is the funnest part. Funnest, is that a word? Is the best part. Creation, when you finish it, you better have another project on the other side of that, because you don't want to ever be done. You don't want to ever be stuck. You don't want to ever stop growing. You want to be the creating. You're not going to arrive. It's kind of like health. Can you ever be too healthy? Like when you hit a certain size, are you done? Are you going to go backwards now? Are you going to let your health go? You're never done. You want to be the creator in the middle of creating, using faith as your guide, believing that all things are possible for you. You've got to remove your own limitations. List them out. What do you think is limiting you? How is never it. If you know what you want, you can get it. You just start doing it. I don't care where. You don't have to do it right. You're just going to figure out what's going to work and what's not going to work, but you're just going to do the what. And there will be a why behind it, something that drives it. The why is huge to your faith. Why is the reason you were created. Your why is what you were put here to do. It's in you to do now. And you have faith that it is in you, or you wouldn't be able to name the why. The why is your faith. It's your faith in motion. So if you've got your why, and you have an idea, just an inkling, doesn't have to be in concrete and all written down on a storyboard, but if you have the what, just an idea. I want to be an artist. I don't know what kind of artist. I just want to be an artist. Then what would an artist do? And that's where you start creating. with faith that you will figure it out as you go. You will figure it out as you go. And then the fear is gone. The fear of what you wanted all this time, but you couldn't figure it out, you couldn't have it, something's in the way. The only thing that's in the way is what you're focused on. If you're focused on the thing you want and you're doing it, you're allowing it, you're in the motion with it, you're aligned with it, that's not a problem. But if you're focused on what you want, but you're living in all the why nots and the can'ts and the shouldn'ts and I don't know how's, that's fear. Fear will stop you. Faith will launch you. Launch yourself in the direction of alignment. Launch yourself in the direction of trust and belief that everything you want is yours. You can have it. You've asked, but you got to let it in. That's what faith is. So now it's time for you to go get to work. Make a list of what you think is blocking you and question it. Is it really blocking you? Like, is there really a thing, or is there a workaround? Is there a possibility? If you've seen anybody else in the world do this, it's not because their life was better than yours. It's not because they had good parents. It's not because they had better education. It's not because they had more money. Everything is possible, even if it's done by your shoelaces. You can do it, but you got to know what's blocking you so that you can focus on the opposite of that. List out your limitations, or what you think they are. Tell yourself they're not limitations. So if they're not limitations, then the opposite must be true. A limitation makes you feel fearful. And fear is not truth. When you hear truth, it makes you feel good. So if you don't feel the goodness in those limitations, then they're coming from fear. That's how you can tell. Your emotions will always guide you. They never lie to you. If you're feeling negative emotion, you are in fear. There is a conflict between your inner self that is not in fear and your brain that is in fear, because that's what it's built to do, is keep you safe. So then you've got to find middle ground. You're just looking for relief. You're looking for a better thought that is less fearful inside of you. Check and see, do I feel less fearful when I challenge that limitation on the piece of paper, the one I wrote down, the thing that I think is blocking me? If I feel fear around it, I need to find a better thought about it. I need to find some resolution. I need to find something else that I can cling to that's going to make me feel good, because that is more in alignment than the thing that makes you feel bad. If you have questions, please email me. You can get hold of me after listening to this podcast episode. You can get hold of me at teresafordcoaching@gmail.com. That's TERESAFORD, like Chevy, teresafordcoaching@gmail.com. Ask questions. I would be more than happy to answer them for you, because this is very general information. I realize everybody's life is very specific, and it's very important to you. So if we have a little bit of conversation, you might be able to get clarity on these general concepts. But I hope you're getting something out of this. I hope the light bulb went on for you. I hope you walked away with an aha and a little nugget in your pocket that you could use so that you can get out from under the fear and live in faith. Okay, it's time to get going and get living. Here we go. Thanks for listening. I invite you to leave your feedback and share your aha moments as you listen to this podcast. Also, you can access more information or any of the programs, courses, or worksheets that I've mentioned on these episodes on my website at teresaford.life. Or what I would really love is for you to connect with me on Instagram at teresaford.coaching and on Facebook at Coaching with Teresa Ford, so I can give you more interesting insights and further coaching to help you fulfill the measure of your creation.